I use my hair to express myself. So here we are on Airport Duel, and this is on the new Milestone GROUCHY, and we've got Mix90 playing as TKS up against Sparkskaboom playing as the 8th Infantry Division US Mechanized. So TKS has had some changes in that the bad tanks it gets, which it used for cheap fire support, now have loads of armor, so they've become more expensive, and now TKS has got no cheap fire support. So it's one of those things that people think, oh, it's a buff, they got more armor, bro, but it's actually a nerf. And I'm pretty sure while I was watching them do the deployment, I saw him put a fob down and delete it. But hey, you know the deck codes are in the description, right? If you really care, you could check. And so we'll cover Mixed 90's deployment because I'm here. And so he's got green berets, which do have the airborne forward deployment, unlike anything on... Actually... Yeah, because the Rangers don't. Looks like the Rangers don't. They've got airborne forward deployment, which gives him a small advantage at the start, and so he's using that to go deep. He's actually going to here, which is quite surprising. And in the middle, we got two more green berets. One's going up to here, and one's going to here. And on the right, a green beret is going all the way down on Foxtrot. So he's using his advanced deployment, and behind that, two AMX-10 race cars. One's going to here, which is going to be a total pain in the neck for Sparks as he tries to come down this road. And one's going to here. I'm very surprised because usually when you're playing against 8th, they do some kind of wacky heli attack thing. And so all this would die to a wacky heli attack thing, but I guess he's clearly not expecting it, and spoilers, it doesn't look like there's much of a wacky heli attack thing over there. Somebody asked me if I watch these games before I cast them. I do not. I just don't see the point, and also it messes with my enthusiasm, right? If I know that something's going to happen, then it's not unexpected to me when it happens, and so I don't react the same way. So it's obviously better to just view it with you guys. So he's got some Jaeger Aufklärer going over to here. I believe both divisions have access to this. They definitely used to on 8th. I don't know if they still do. Back here, we've got a bunch of other stuff. So one CV, and the CV is going to go to Papa, and then I guess he'll manually path it from there. 3 Milan 1s. One is going to here, one is going to here, and one is going to here. No Milan 2s. Mix seems to be really against Milan 2s, even though they're extremely cost-efficient for their price. In the finals against T-Man Plays, which he lost, by the way, he was bringing Milan 1s into TATUDs. Went about as well as you might expect. Last time I brought up this fact, somebody told me, Hippie, you've ruined the entire tournament for me, because now I know that T-Man won the tournament. The tournament was played, it ended at the start of January. And when this guy mentioned this, it was halfway through February, but then I checked Vulcan's channel, and he was like slowly covering the quarterfinals over the last 3 months. Even though they're all on completely outdated patches, like 2 or 3 patches out of date now, but, you know, power to him, he gets more views than me, he must be doing something right. Pioneer Armburst going over to here, so I apologise if I've ruined the league result for you, but you should get faster. And an M40 recoilless rifle going to here, and then Jaeger Carl Gustav, which is a new unit. I think it's too expensive, I think it should be 5 points cheaper. And they're going to here. And we already spoke about the CV. Move into his opponent's deployment. We've got a really heavy, slow deployment. So lots of mech rifles in... I'm pretty sure Sparkskaboom, I've seen him in the tournaments and stuff. I've definitely seen him on the Discord, so he is a reputable player. So on the left side, Stinger going to here, mech rifles going to here and to here, and he's going quite passive in Echo, because he knows that because this is tracked, it's just not going to get there very fast. His lone forward deployed unit is a CFV Bradley, and that's going to here, which is going to not help. I mean, I guess if it's here, he can shoot down this road, stop people getting to that building. I guess that's probably the plan, right? Behind that, we have the wheeled component of his attack, which is 2 Rangers, and they're going to the back of Zulu. And 2 Rangers Dragon, which are going to... One's going to here, and one's going to here. Rangers Dragon, new-ish unit. It was the last patch, not this patch. But there you go. It's Rangers with a Dragon 2 and their special forces and everything. So the Dragon 2's got pretty good accuracy on it. But the Cork Commando is classed as an SMG, so it's got an SMG range. So Swings and roundabouts. Behind that, the tracked component featuring a Stinger in a wheeled vehicle. Nice job, Hippie. That guy's not going to make it because of what we saw before, so we'll see what happens with that. Engineers, which is... what? Reputable player moment? Why is he bringing engineers? You just never see that. Sparks, if you're watching this, why do you have engineers? And then 2 more mech rifles going over here, and a base M1 Abrams, which is now different. It's got way higher accuracy than the Leopard 2 for some reason, and the Challenger. Higher ROF than the Leopard 2 and the Challenger. It's got 11 ROF there. And it's just generally a better tank than the Leopard and the Challenger, and it costs less than the Leopard and the Challenger. Better machine guns as well. UK suffers, so yeah, we'll cast the game and I'll do it from this perspective because I'm already here. So I'd like to take the time to thank the generous channel joiners who get the videos up to a week early and have exclusive access to like 7 members only videos. They get their names on the screen, they support me, and the memberships generate more revenue than the advertising, which is, you might think, wow, great Hippie, you're rich. But the advantage is that... oh, he did actually open 2 jets, so he was expecting a helicopter thing. The advantage is that basically you may have noticed that certain other casters don't even say the word fart on their videos. If there's a player called Fart Jenkins, they will call it Mr. Jenkins. That's because the advertising revenue is decided by YouTube printing a transcript of your video, and if it has lots of vulgarity in it, then it will censor it to more people. There's also lots of other things if you talk about politics, if you talk about violence, and that leads to the sort of the sterility that you see in some of the casts of my fellow casters, where they just don't want to upset anybody, and it's because of the money. But because I don't care about advertising, you know, I can say the N-word all day. I can swear. What swear word should I say? Oh shit! And that didn't actually one-shot that, which is quite surprising. 17 pen max range doesn't one-shot. But he does smoke him back. And you see, yeah, this is sort of what I was on about. That his deployment's just getting rinsed. And the F-104 bomber carousel's coming up now. These things are really funny because they're so high altitude. It's surprising to see these miss. They really mess things up. But the Abrams should be able to deal with both of these simply due to its armor. And so all he needs to do is keep the targets painted and not shoot green berets when he could be shooting AMX-10 RCs. So there we go. He sees it, and oh, it doesn't one-shot because it's only 17 pen. So that's with 3 armor, 17 pen doesn't one-shot. They're both on 17 pen. But he scared that one away, and now what he really needs to do is move up and shoot this, not shoot the green berets. They don't matter. Taking this out of the equation is what matters. And you see more F-104s. These have the AT. I believe this is new this patch. They used to just be on second Panzer Grenadier Division. Terrible accuracy, but it's just the range. You should really evac them as soon as they've shot. But you'll notice that they've only got 8 HP. Agility, very good. This is just a lie on the stat card. And yeah, like what? Is he just not paying attention? I hope he loses it. He deserves it. No, never mind. But all this time, you know, Sparks just can't bring in any helicopters, can't bring in any planes, because there's just 2 Mirages here circling constantly. And it looks like they fixed that thing where they would just randomly decide to run at a ground unit and get themselves killed when they're not targeted. They actually turn in circles now. They never used to do that. So power to Eugen for fixing that. I'm not going to bring up how long it took him, because it goes against the narrative. And yeah, you see, you know, the fire rate's very high, and the bombers keep coming in, and eventually they will kill this, because, you know, you start running out of HP, and there you go. So there you go, aero rifles out for Sparks, and these Mirages have not been sent to intercept. They're about to run out of fuel. They really should be getting in there. Are they scared of the Chaparrals? Spent all this money. And the Black Hawks can be sold, or they can be used to shoot. They don't do a lot, but they can be used to shoot and soak and then sell them, and you'll get the same price back if it's alive. The M113A3s are really good for fire support because they're quite cheap and they've got 50 cal. The only issue is no smoke. This guy really needs to be in this building, and mech rifles will definitely beat Jaeger Carl Gustav. And here we go, Black Hawk's being sent in, or one of them is. But he's not put it on attack move, so it's going to get close enough to get hit by the small arms. which is going to mess it up. But low cohesion, I guess it's not going to do too much. Guy really needs to be in this building. I know I already said that. And the Mirages have been circling, and they could go for this. I guess he's scared of whatever's back here. He knows that there's one chap out. Because it messed up his F-104G ATs. But yeah, back to the fact that I can swear. Anyway, what happened to the second one? Oh, he just sold it. Okay. And so yeah, you just shoot them till they run out of bullets, and then you know you can use them to scout, and then you can sell them, and you'll get the same amount of money back, and you actually got the utility out. The difference is they might die. Rangers will beat Green Berets because it's a bigger squad with the same weapons. The Green Berets, of course, also special forces. But if oh no, your attack moved, get in the building. No, you need to move them both into the same building. Guess it's not going to make too much of a difference. Probably will still beat this. They are 2 vet, but I mean they're outnumbered. Somebody asked me in a comment, does the damage output go down as the squad size goes down? It does, but the last man will fire his machine gun and his rifle at the same time. But it does, because you can see from like so aero rifles, 6 M16s, 2 M40 Bravos. These guys have the same aero rifles, but with more men have 8 M16s and 2 M40 Bravos. Same for mech rifles, 6 and 2, and this is 6 and 3. So you might say, well then what's the equation behind, you know, when do they lose a machine gun? And you can find that out by going to the War Yes Discord, and Nalid's got this nice page up there called Game Knowledge, and that will tell you about all that. And if it doesn't, then you can just ask him, because I've definitely seen that information somewhere. Just modify in the code that when the squad size goes below a certain number, it will take away an MG. It's not random. It's actually the same every time. And you see the power of the mech rifles in just interdicting all this stuff. I mean, they don't always hit, right? But makes it harder and harder to send stuff down here. Another M1 Abrams purchased, and we got more mech rifles coming in over here. And it's easy to think, like, well, there's no tanks, bro, there's no IFVs, bro, it's over. But you can see how much work the infantry can actually do now. Infantry and 50 cals can do a lot of work by themselves now. I'm not... Okay. I mean, it works. Perhaps not the most cost-efficient purchase. Maybe he bought it earlier and he just wanted a chance to use it. But yeah, those Mirages are refueling, so we won't see them for a while. But we do see an iHawk purchase out, so he's not going to be able to do that forever. And yeah, you know, you might get that. And it forces him to unload, and there you go, that's 20 points. The Blackhawk goes down, which is bad, and probably shouldn't have happened, because it's got like 12 HP. There's only one Fliegerfest here. Maybe it only has, I think it only has 8 actually, but it's got ECM. It's the Chinook that's got 12. Me, of course, very washed. Understand nothing. So, yeah, good kills. And you see the power of the mech rifles. Mix. Trying to attack, but this is premature, really. So he is +2, and I do admire his offensive tenacity. This is exactly what I do. But if he just waited a couple minutes and then attacked, I think this would go much better for him. And he loses the command tank in a single shot there to the Bradley with the TOW 2, because this is a TOW 2 and it does 25 pen with 65% accuracy. In terms of AP, I believe it's the highest ground launch ATGM in the game. I would still say the best ATGM in the game is the Bastion, because it has higher range, 2,800 meters range. And it's also really, really, really fast. So the F-16 attempts to interdict the Starfighter. Starfighter, as you can see, bad accuracy, but if it hits, it's really going to mess you up. And the advantage of TKS is that you shoot all your air at once to avoid the AA. So he sort of tried that there. It could have been done a little bit better, like this doesn't drop its bombs, but the general principle worked, right? And so he's got all these planes out. I guess he's not got targets for him. I'd go for the Bradley. Oh, yeah, he saw it. And there you go. So, you know, they've got bad accuracy, but because, I mean, they're not expensive, and you can shoot the missiles and see what happens. They're very fast, very high altitude, kind of hard to intercept. The dumb bomber especially, very hard to intercept. The disadvantage of them is that they now have 8 HP, which means a buck will actually kill it in one hit. And here we go, yeah, the Mirages are back up. Really good airplay from Mix there. You see how he brought it round the side? And then as Spark sent his F-16 down mid, Mix sent his Mirages down the side and hit him there. So that's good. And yeah, Mick's still attacking, and he's bought these, which are just stupidly expensive now. 55 points. It's just stupidly expensive. Lawnmower will not do much. The Vulcan is not very good in this game for some reason. I mean, you'd think it would be better than most other airplane guns, but it's actually the opposite in this. It's one of the worst. And yeah, you see the Blackhawk 8 HP but 10% ECM, so they actually dodge all that. So we could try and keep it around, but after the last one died. Yeah. Surprised by Mix's decision to bring a 105 instead of a 155. The 105s have been nerfed this patch. Their aim time has gone down. And yeah, Milan 1s. If that was a Milan 2, it'd do a lot more. But Mix sitting... Oh, he was sitting quite comfortably on a +2. He's not anymore. So it's even Stevens now, but Mix does have points on the board. He's definitely got the advantage in the air, but he's bleeding out too much. Like, you see Red's not... I was going to say Red's not losing a whole lot. That was an expensive loss. But Red's definitely losing less than Blue, as Blue just continues to run into Red. But it makes for good viewing. I like watching it. And you see, you know, they keep missing, but it's fine. You just shoot it in evac, shoot it in evac. Look at the range. And these guys are just in a terrible position. They're getting shot from two sides here. And, you know, they do have a... Like I said, they got lots of armor now, 10 armor, but, you know, it's not going to make too much of a difference when you're being flanked like that. But it did keep them alive, and they are very expensive now, so this is back to my point that TKS does not have good cheap fire support. Like, why is this 55 points? It really shouldn't be. It's far too expensive. And yeah, Mix, he really doesn't like that M35 supply. Let's see if he pays for it now. It will get a second shot off. And yeah, so excellent bait by Sparkskaboom. Mr. Lehnard? Interesting. Is that a real... I would have thought it would be Leonard. But why is it spelt like that? Really good bait from Lehnard. And these guys are actually out of ammo, or at least this one is. This guy could move up to this building to shoot, I guess, but probably better... You know, because if he moves, then he's going to start getting shot, but this is low cohesion, so there's lots to think about. The alternative is to just move up this mech rifles, move up some supplies, something like that. It's good to keep the howitzers firing. That's really good. You know that they're all in there, because those are those towers, and they can't be destroyed, so that's always a good place to be. But you see that it just doesn't really do anything. Eyehawk on the field now for Sparks. And that means that Mix can't just YOLO his Mirages into... mech rifles anymore, and noticing that he evacs them out. Mix up to a +1 with the Jaeger Carl Gustav. He did manage to get in here, and so yeah, if you're on the blue side, this is a very, very popular place to attack, because you can get down here and the guys in these buildings can't really stop you very easily, but the Ranger's Dragon get the Führer. So what he could have done there is put it behind this house. Do you see this? Global Logistics shipping container. That's where you could put it, and then it wouldn't have been hit by those dragons. So that's worth knowing. And that's the high-level play that you come to this channel for. Losing too many units in the transports. Overkill mechanics in this are just improperly modelled, unlike in, say, Wargame, where some of those units would survive. In this, they all die. And so you got to be really careful when you're sending your cars in. I hark back to simpler times where TKS was all about dropping aircraft, putting helicopters over enemy CVs filled with infantry with AT and just daring him to shoot it down, because the infantry would all survive on high cohesion and they would immediately blow up the CV. Those were the days. Sadly, we're a realistic war simulator now. And that Eyehawk went down to the 105, so... Oh no, hang on, he's bought 155, so yeah. And, you know, these ATs, that Chaparral's done so much work. I mean, he's out of rounds, and he's not been resupplied. That's 12 rounds that he got off there. I'm surprised Mix isn't prioritizing that over the Abrams. But these F-104Gs, the fact that they can one-shot the Abrams from the front makes buying these Abrams very, very tricky. Bit of an odd micro decision from Sparks there, but he does get away with it. Like, he sort of went this way and that way, whereas if he'd come around this way, he could have got this. But he survives. The Ihawk ran out of missiles. And it's worth noting that there's a new radar tag on these units. So the radar thing used to be here, and now it's here. Mick's really pouring in the pain here. Just very surprised he didn't go for this Chaparral. And the Chaparral now has less than 1 armor on all its sides, so it would actually explode pretty quickly. And it's only got 6 HP. So you could probably get it. And you see that it's empty. No missiles. And yeah, the grind continues. Both of these divisions, very grindy divisions. And Mix is sitting comfortably on the 440 points. This is sort of... So when you see this happening, there's one or two things you can do. I mean, you can decide, look, I will outgrind you, and you just go for full grind, don't even push, just try and get as many kills as possible. Or you can think, well, I'll attack over in Foxtrot or in Bravo, because, you know, so I'll sort of keep up a pseudo grind here. This is where smoke comes in handy quite a lot, because you can just, like, drop a smoke blanket down, and then your enemy can't really advance into it. And, you know, this is just free damage every 60 seconds if it doesn't get hit. So, surprised Sparks hasn't bought another Ihawk. He's bought some Stingers, which are really good. They've been nerfed 5% accuracy, but, you know, they used to be 60, then they were 50, then they were 60, now they're 55, and, you know, so they're still very, very strong. And even more artillery coming out for Mix. So he's bought 3 more 105s, just going for full grind, Sigma grind set. But yeah, I mean, I think the 105s are actually useless for everything except smoke. And then in this patch they nerfed the aim time. The aim time's 21 seconds now, which you hate to see. And you know, it's 26 for the big one. So these are now just pointless. I think he must have put him on fire at will. Unless he really does hate that Abrams. So here we go. I would expect the Mirages to win this. All micro from Sparks. He turned away and now he's going to get shot in the bottom. What? Why did he do that? Interesting decision by Mix to evac his planes instead of switching to guns, because the Mirage has much better turning characteristics than the F-16. It is faster, so it might overshoot, but he had the guns. He could have really killed both of those. I think that was a misplay. Maybe he thought, well, the enemy might buy an Ihawk, and then I'm stranded out here behind enemy lines, being hit by Ihawks, so maybe that's why. And everybody gets out, which, you know, okay. These Hempts, so this is like efficient supply because it's 70 points for 2,500 supply. The issue is if you park it next to a Milan 1, it fires all 6 of its missiles in an attempt to kill it. It will eventually get it. And yeah, there you go, another F-104 thing, and 2 Hempts went down there, so that's actually huge because that's 5,000 supply off the table. And these are the sort of things that newer players don't really care about because they're like, well, so what? You know, 2 units killed, why are we... And medium players might be, you know, wow, okay, 140 points lost, that's big. The main thing is that this is a grinding match. It looks, I mean, it might not do, but it looks like it's going to take a long time. And if you lose 5,000 supply, you're not going to be able to attrition as well as your opponent, because you're not going to be able to heal up all your stuff. You're going to run out of supply. So losing those Hempts was actually a huge deal, and that's the issue with going for the Hempt over the M35 supply. So Sparks noticing the situation, and while Mix has gone for option 1, grind more, and that's what the artillery is, Sparks has gone for option 2, which is attack somewhere else. And that makes sense for both players, because all Mix has to do is sit here, and Sparks needs to get some points on the board or he's going to lose the game. So these must all be on auto-targeting. Yeah, they are, because that says it's a point target when it's not. I think that means it's auto-targeted. And you see the thing with the M48s, wow, they got more armor, but, you know, they just... The price to performance isn't there anymore. It's the same story with the Leopard ones. This needs lots of AA. I mean, so he's bought Eyehawks, but they're going over here. If he's going to attack like this, he needs AA, because he's against TKS. And the artillery is becoming quite big, but he's going for the things that can move with some of the pieces. They are, of course, just on random fire, I guess. And I don't know how much of this he sees. I'm actually very surprised by Mix's decision to not put recon in this building, because that gives you massive vision, as we found out in that game with Yukiport. You can see lots. And there you go. It missed a few times, but this time it really got it. And he takes a good evac, so he's actually flown out of the... Oh, never mind. Might lose that. What? What was the aim time? Aim time 2.3 seconds. Didn't look like it, mate. Kind of looked like it just fired immediately there. Didn't look like it. And an M1A1 died here to a Starfighter, and that goes down as well. So losing the Starfighters is a problem, but they've definitely more than paid for themselves, and now he knows where all the AA is. And Sparks is not keeping the cars with the AA. Which is really bad, particularly when you know your enemy has lots of artillery. This guy gets auto-evac'd and will now evac over the Eyehawks again, and I don't expect him to go home. Okay. I called it. He got home, just like I said. So, this man needs to focus the AA, and he is, but I don't think he saw this one. And you see artillery really not very good. Really not very good. Like... And then they nerf the aim time this patch. There's a limit to what I can say. Just get it on the last round in the volley, and that was between two of them, right? I think. And yeah, so he needs to be hitting the infantry, really. Hitting the supply is good as well. Over here, so he knew about this, which means... So did he see it from... Because I was trying to think, how did he see it? Might have been this guy. And here we go, finally some... Oh, okay. So it's not counter battery, he's just preparing the ground for the attack. So he's smoking, but he's not got the AA. He's missing a vital component. Oh, okay, so he's got the ASF for CAP. CAP stands for Combat Air Patrol, not no cap for real bussing. Most of my viewers are in the it's like 26 to 35 age bracket or something. As am I, I'm 26. So there aren't that many Zoomers. Zoomers, of course, not able to comprehend any game that takes longer than 10 minutes. And yeah, the big boy's out now. This guy, yeah, the F-16s are diving, but... Oh, because he right-clicked this instead of just... So what happened there was... This is a SACLOS missile, semi-active radar guidance. So it was aimed on that target, but he right-clicked the Mirage instead of right-clicking near the Mirage to turn the plane. If he had right-clicked near the Mirage to turn the plane, what he would have found is that the first missile would have kept going and maybe could have taken out that LGBT. But instead, the missile just randomly flew off into the sky because it had lost tracking because he had told the plane to shoot the other one. So it had immediately binned that missile so it could aim the next one. So that's how that works. Just a bit of air micro knowledge for you there. So good attack from Sparks. I like the smoke. And from Mix, I like the immediate counter battery to take out the smoke. These need to be moving. But because he forgot the AA, he's going to lose the tanks. As predicted. So it's just mech rifles, no fire support. I mean, there's one M1 left. He should have brought the AA. Should have had a bunch of stingers here. Because Yeah, it would have helped because he's everybody's dead. You see what I mean? AMX 10RC that goes down here to mech rifles because 18 pen can kill a 3 armor vehicle in one, whereas the 17 pen of the base M1 Abrams can't. So that's worth knowing. 18 pen to kill a 3 front armor vehicle, and there are a lot of those in the game, including the AMX 10RC, which Mix has now lost. And honestly, Mix is sort of overinvested in artillery. This has dived too deep. Probably not going to make it. Oh no, no, he does. Apologise. But the bomber carousel still going on. Next IHawk got nailed by the artillery. Even more artillery being purchased. I think it would have been better instead to buy some supply because these are all running low. And I assume he's put them on fire at will. Otherwise, all his micros going into this. And Sparks really needs to switch this into counter battery. Because it's very difficult. When Mix has this much artillery, it's very difficult for him to move it. And here we go, M1 Abrams CP, but it's got the same front armor as the regular Abrams CP. CV snipe shot? CV snipe shot? I don't see him. I think it missed. Yeah, it landed there. Oh well, no CV snipe shot. And Mix bringing out Gazelle Hot 2. This is a really good purchase. I mean, it would have been like 2 minutes ago, but it still is. But basically, you just leave it at the back when the enemy's trying to push, and then he's forced to bring up AA, which he doesn't have. Otherwise, it just starts hitting all the tanks, forces the tanks to smoke, stops them from advancing. I mean, it will still be very, very useful here. It will get lots of kills. It's just people ask me, you know, how could I have improved this game, Hippie? He could have bought that a bit earlier. But you see that Sparks, you know, he managed to take the zone, to his credit. Are there any... There are reinforcements coming. Mech Rifles Law, and he's chosen wheeled transport, so they'll get there faster. And he's bought one Stinger. I feel like he's really underestimating the threat from these F104Gs. He's lost all his IHawks. There was one here, there was one here, and there was one here before. So he's lost 3 for 3 IHawks. Needs to move his mortars as well. They've been counter-batteried. And so, you know, he's completely exposed to these starfighters, and they just keep coming off cooldown, because it's 60 seconds cooldown, he just keeps buying them. The only thing I would say to Mix is that he needs to evac his planes this way, by just sending them over here before he pressing Winchester, because they keep coming over here and getting hit by Stingers. Nice shot. And so you see... you see... And it would be cool if Mix moved up this IHawk to here. I mean, it doesn't have to happen, I'm just saying. It would be a way to improve. And he needs to start buying supply for all these I mean, it's very rare you see this, because it's awful. But yeah, credit to him. I think his salvo went up to 3, right? Yeah, 3 salvo. 1 minute reload. Oh, there we go, he's seen the CV. And the CV will fall unless Sparks reacts. Which he is not doing. There's just so much artillery. It's very difficult to move everything. And he's still got this, but I think that is a... No, he actually sees it. And that goes down, as does that. No AA. The AA is all over here, it's all Stingers over here, and then Mix sort of microing a bit poorly, keeps microing over his Stingers. I wish somebody would cast my games. Then I could learn, as these players are learning from me. I should charge for this service. Anyway, Thunderbolt purchase. Will be really interesting to see how this works, because I believe those IHawks... No, this one has been resupplied, and this one's still got 2. Kanj PZ actually has 6 armor now, so can survive a front shot from a Dragon 2. Mix, absolute Chad, just blows up his own units to get 2... Were they Rangers? Yeah, definitely worth it. And I'm not being facetious. So he should correctly micro and just kill all of these. Oh, he incorrectly microed. So the thing is that the plane targeting is really bad. So it will do a full sweep unless you get it onto target yourself by right-clicking near the unit. So because he right-clicked, it did a full sweep. It's just the way it works. I don't know even if they can fix it. and the Mirage Interceptor's out. He will fly over the Stinger, but the Stinger's going to waste its shot on the Gazelle Hot 2. No, it's re-aiming constantly. What is it going for? Went for the Gazelle Hot 2. So his mate in the Thunderbolt is dead as a result of his actions. But all the Gazelle Hot 2s died. Well, actually, there's still 3. I don't know, that was a bit odd. You want to use them defensively, they're just not an offensive thing. And that got an M35 supply, or perhaps nothing. But Sparks is on a +2 with 10 minutes left. He's about to overtake Mix. Mix really needs to get this CV in here. Mech Rifle's Law will be able to take these guys out if they come around that corner. Unless they come around this way. Like, I think this guy's going to be in range. There you go. Wait, what? Okay, so it's just lying to me when it says that they're not in range. That's the range. It was definitely shooting further than that. Right, so this one should go for the tank. Does he see it? Maverick's getting good kills here. And another Starfighter. But Mix does have... and he keeps evacing them this way. Taking Stinger Fire for free. Haven't really been checking in here. Basically, the artillery... I mean, look at what's happened to this place. I used to play this game called Ace of Spades. And it was like Minecraft, but with guns. I know there's lots of games that claim to be like that. And it was always cool to see the maps at the end. Where's this guy going? These F-16s are so bad. Why did the price go up? Weren't they like 190 before? Why did the price go up? They're not very good. Oh dear. So this Thunderbolt does get routed though. And this guy does not get routed. And he's still going for this. Why doesn't he just target it with all his artillery? I think it must all be on fire at will. Ah, here we go. He's targeted it now. You can tell if it's an auto attack or a targeted attack because the auto attacks use the smaller circle. What also uses the small circle is just right-clicking on a unit, but nobody worth their salt does that because if you lose targeting, it will interrupt its volley if you do that. So you never right-click on the unit, you just attack position it. So M1 should kill all this actually, but I keep forgetting this is 10 armor now. So even at that range. But yeah, the Gazelle Hot 2 will force it to back because, yeah, you see that's going to two-shot that. And Sparks on a +1, desperately trying to claw it back. Mix going into Echo. He's made it into Echo. And he's killed the CV, so he needs the CV, and the CV's coming. Problem he's got is that he's pulling it past these mech rifles, but he's actually drained them of supply. And that's probably going to get that. What? It must be because it was moving. But there you go. Gazelle Hot 2 kills the Abrams before the M40 A, B, C, D, E, F, G dies to the LGBT QAIOP. And the Roland 2s are a unit in the game. But what was that from? Was that the Eyehawk? Mix sort of over-investing in Gazelle Hot 2. Might want a Gazelle cannon, but with that, Sparks resigns. So yeah, GG. Really interesting, grindy game. When I click Mix, just comes up with my profile. I'm apparently ranked 116th with 6 games, because they reset the ladder, so even showing you how many games people has is pointless. Sparks has had 28 games on it. Sparks has actually had so many more games than me. He's had more than 4 times my games. So he's just so much better than me at the game. Whoa! He has had a lot of games. But yeah, you see the F104GHE. Yeah. Sparks just not doing a good job against the enemy air spam. At all. And Mix, I think, over-investing in artillery, but yeah, he got the crucially he got the Eyehawks, which allowed him to air spam. So yeah, get some pivads in the mix, Sparks. If you're watching this, get some pivads. They're pretty good. And I'll see you in the next one.